I'm Tom McMillan, pastor at John Knox Presbyterian Church. I just visited with a guy who was coming into the church, and he was on his way out, and I said, "Hey, Bob, how you doing?" And he said, "I'm doing some things well." I like that. He said, notice I didn't say good, doing all things well, some things. And I think we understand that. Some things we do well, other things we struggle with. Maybe you're familiar with the Native American Cherokee story of a grandfather who's given instruction to his grandson. And he says, there is a battle going on within us. There are these two wolves. One is evil, prone toward violence and hatred and pride and greed and lies. And the other is good, prone toward joy and serenity, humility, peace. And that battle goes within all of us. And the grandson said, "Which one wins?" And the grandfather said, "The one you feed." The one you feed. Wonder which one we're feeding. Paul is writing to Christians in Galatia in chapter 5. And he said, "This is my counsel to you. Live freely, animated and motivated by God's Holy Spirit. Then you won't feed the compulsions of selfishness." Live freely. Sometimes we think that our freedom allows us to simply do whatever we want to do, but actually that's not being very free. Usually that means we're just prone toward engaging in our own self-interest at the exclusion of others. And the freedom that Christ imagines is freedom for service, freedom to be who we are in God's image, created very good. And in that goodness we live. That's what God is trying to remind us of who we are. Live freely. As you've been created good, so live good, animated and motivated by God's Holy Spirit. If we can't remember, if we can't sense, how is God's Spirit leading me, or what does that mean, then we look to Jesus. Because Jesus sent the Spirit to be our comforter, our guide, and to remind us of Jesus, so we look to Jesus. And if we can't quite find guidance in Jesus, then we look to our Creator, the one whom Jesus communed with and sought guidance from. And in God's image, we discover who we have been created to be. Very, very good. By God's presence within us, by the love of Jesus, and being animated and motivated by the Holy Spirit, we find ourselves to be free and motivated to live lives that reflect the ways of God. Remember, you're not alone. God cares for you. And so do we.